Today's lesson is on dividing fractions. First, we're going to look at writing reciprocals. For our first three problems, we will write the reciprocal. To write the reciprocal, we first need to make sure that we have a fraction. Then we will invert the fraction. Invert means that we're going to flip it over. So for number one, we have a fraction. We have 3/4. So when we flip it over, that means the 4 becomes the numerator and the 3 becomes the denominator. So our reciprocal would be 4/3. For number two, we have a whole number. We have 5. So our first step is to make this a fraction. If we want to convert a whole number to a fraction, we will go ahead and write the whole number as the numerator, and then we will write a 1 for the denominator. We still have 5. Now we need to invert our fraction, so we need to flip it over. So the 1 will become the numerator, and the 5 will then become the denominator. And now for number 3, we have 9/5. 9/5 is a fraction, so we're going to invert our fraction. So if we invert our fraction, we will flip it over. So the 5 becomes the numerator, and the 9 becomes the denominator. So our reciprocal is 5/9. Now we're going to divide a fraction by a fraction. So we're going to divide, and we want to write the answer in simplest form. So for number 4, we have 2/7 divided by 1/3. When we divide fractions, our first fraction will stay the same. So 2/7 will stay 2/7. And then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So this division sign is now going to be multiplication, and we need to do the reciprocal for 1/3. So we need to invert 1/3 or flip it over. So the 3 will become the numerator, and the 1 will become the denominator. So we have 2/7 times 3/1. Now we solve this like we did when we solved multiplication problems for fractions. So we multiply the numerators, 2 times 3, and we multiply the denominators, 7 times 1. We can check to see if we have anything that can be simplified. In this problem, we do not have anything that can be simplified, so we're going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 3 is 6, and 7 times 1 is 7. So our answer is 6/7. Now for number 5, we have 2/5 divided by 3/10. Our first fraction will stay the same. So we have 2/5. And now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So our division becomes multiplication. And then we need to invert our second fraction. So our 10 becomes the numerator, and the 3 becomes the denominator. Now we can go ahead and multiply. For the numerators, we have 2 times 10, and for the denominator, we have 5 times 3. Our next step is to see if we can simplify. We have a 5 on the bottom, so in the denominator, and we have a 10 in the numerator. We can divide 10 and 5 both by 5. So we'll go ahead and simplify those two numbers. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now we can go ahead and multiply. 2 times 2 equals 4, and 1 times 3 is 3. So we'll get 4/3. We want to write our answer in simplest form, so we need to convert 4/3 to a mixed number. So we will have 4 divided by 3, and 3 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. When we subtract, we get 1. So our answer would then be 1, which is the whole number up here at the top, and then our fraction would be 1/3. So our answer is 1 1/3. And now for number 6, we have 1/6 divided by 2/3. So our first fraction will stay the same. It stays 1/6. And then we will multiply by the reciprocal. So our division sign becomes multiplication, and we need to invert 2/3. So we'll have a 3 for the numerator and a 2 for our denominator. Remember that invert means that we would flip it over. Now we can go ahead and multiply. For the numerators, we have 1 times 3. And for our denominators, we have 6 times 2. Now we can look to see if we can simplify anything. We have a 3 in the numerator and a 6 in the denominator. We can divide 3 and 6 both by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now we can multiply. 1 times 1 equals 1, and 2 times 2 equals 4. 1/4 is simplified, so that is our answer.